Good afternoon. It's so sad to be here again. I've been working with the homeless since 1978 when I first started the Housing Hotline. We have a problem with the music tonight because it got wet, so the digital readout will not work. But I'm going to do Amazing Grace without the music, if it's okay. Join it with me. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. We just lost another homeless person. It's unbelievable.
My name is Greta. I'm the priest at St. Paul's Episcopal Church, just down the road, where Gus sometimes stayed in our shelter and was this close to being housed when he died. Thank you for being here tonight on behalf of his family, who is gathered here in the awesome t-shirts. Thank you for being here. I think somehow it's appropriate that this weather is upon us as we stand out here uncomfortable in the rain, in the cold. Earlier it was hailing. Many of us have the privilege of going home to a warm place and a warm bed. Many of us don't. But here we are, gathered to say goodbye to Gus, to remember all those who are at risk of losing their lives because they're homeless, and to remember that we can do better. Hallelujah. Amen. Will you join me in some silence and then some prayer? Holy One, God, Jehovah, Allah, Buddha, Mother, Creator, Spirit, hear our cry as we stand before you tonight, mourning the loss of Gus Moraes, mourning the loss of all who have died on the streets in this world because we are not doing enough to get them into housing. Hear our cry as we mourn for families, friends, as we consider in our hearts the work that lies ahead of us. Be with us this night as we laugh and cry together. Be with us as we leave this place, whether we go home, or we go to a shelter, or we go to a friend's couch in an overcrowded apartment, or we go find a warm corner over a storm drain to wait out the night. Be with us in our grief, and be with us in our work. Be with us in our joy and our pain. Be with us. Amen. Our first speaker tonight is Mayor Don Grevin. He needs no further introduction. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you, Greta. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. On behalf of myself as the mayor of the city and Councilor Gray, who represents this district on the council, our sympathies are with you and the families. As tragic as this is, and it affects all of our lives, especially those loved ones who were close to Gus and who knew Gus, children and family, it's a time for us to reflect, as was stated earlier, and recognize all of the hard work that the Rhode Island Homeless Coalition does on behalf of all those that need. There are many of us who take for granted all of the things that we have, whether it be food, shelter, a warm place, a bed to go to. We do take those for granted. And there are people like Gus who have had their challenges in life, who have struggled and lost and made sacrifices. But it's very unfortunate when we think about how tragic the death was. Somebody's life was taken too early. Very young, I believe he was 56, if I have it right. And as I stand here at 48, I say that's not a long time away, but it was tragic. So our sympathies go out to the family. Know that the residents in Pawtucket will never forget Gus. There'll be a lot of good that comes out of this as we remember the tragedy, and it refocuses on how important our families are, our network, and coalitions like the Rhode Island Homeless Coalition. How important it is to stick together and remember each other and take care of each other. So, on behalf of the City of Pawtucket, Councilor Gray, I've seen Steve Vadnais from the Housing Authority who deals with housing issues on a daily basis. We know it's tough out there. Know that you do have resources. We're here for you. If there's anything we can do, know you have our sympathies. And let's just take one moment of silence and remember Gus, who I did not have the pleasure to know, but somebody that's going to affect my life and many of the decisions that I'm going to be making going forward. So to the family, our sympathies, God bless, and let's just do a moment of silence. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Senator Crowley intended to be here tonight. She was on our first draft of a bulletin. She is sick and unable to join us tonight. She sends her regrets and her best wishes for all of you and her sympathy at the loss of Gus. Know that she is working hard on all of our behalf. Next, I'm going to ask Elaine to come forward. Elaine is Gus's ex-wife. She'd like to say a few words.
I want to say thank you for everybody showing up, being supportive of my family. Just so you know, Gus was a great man. He was a good father. He didn't deserve to go here. I just want to say, if you guys know anybody, if you guys have family or friends, please be there for them. Don't turn them away. Do not neglect them. Don't be ashamed of them. Help them, because you never know, it could be us out there. I tried my best for him, to be there for her, for my kids, and he is greatly missed. It's going to be very hard to forget about him, but all I say is, Don't turn your back on them. They're human beings. They deserve our love, kindness. I just wish I could just know him. He was a good man.
Thank you, Elaine. Clearly, Gus was a devoted husband and a devoted father and a devoted friend to many of you, and he is already sorely missed in this community. Speaking on behalf of the Rhode Island Coalition for the Homeless is Sylvia Rodriguez Penick and Louise Fred.
Good evening, all. I'm Sylvia Rodriguez Penick. I'm an intern in Episcopal Rhode Island Coalition for the Homeless. I am sad to be part of one more vigil. I am sad to be witness of one more person that passed away without a place to call home. I did not know Mr. Moraes personally, but I saw him many times just passing by. I never approached him because myself, I was blinded by the usual label people attribute to homeless people. One life lesson I learned. I probably would not have changed his fate, but I could have offered him a smile, a friendly hand that would reach out to him and let him know that I cared. Perhaps a compassionate look that could have refilled his heart with hope and strength to go through one more day in the streets. I want to reach out to the community members and emphasize the importance of supporting affordable housing for those in need. To have a place to call home is not a luxury, it's a necessity. I ask you to have compassion, respect, and remember that a smile will lift the faces of the ones in need and will give them the strength they need to go one more day in a place where the four walls don't exist, the streets. I'm going to recite a Portuguese poem by George Freitas, and Louis is going to translate the poem. Sem-abrigo,
A homeless man,
coração que sofre,
a heart suffering,
que pronota o frio à chuva,
that stays in the cold and in the rain,
nos escombros da tristeza,
in the debris of sadness,
que descobre no chão o seu quarto.
who discovers on the floor his room.
De repente tudo muda,
Suddenly everything changes.
uma alma perdida.
A lost soul.
Ele sente-se farto,
He feels tired,
que tanto sofrer se torce.
and from much suffering he twists.
Então o seu abrigo sorri de contente,
Then the homeless man smiles of happy,
cheio de dores, da tristeza que vive.
and pain from the sadness that lives in him.
Esquece de tudo e de nada.
He forgets everything and anything.
Sem-abrigo chora
A homeless man cries
quando alguém ele chega.
when someone approaches him,
Quando se sente abandonado,
when he feels abandoned.
vai pensando no
He
presente.
keeps thinking about the present,
Sendo por vezes machucado,
being sometimes hurt,
procura saber qual o seu futuro
seeking to know his future
perante a sociedade.
before society.
Mas quando alguém a mão lhe estende,
But when someone extends their hand,
cheia de contraste,
full of contrast,
levanta-se,
he gets up,
sorri.
smiles, and says, "Thank you."
Ele vagueia pelas ruas desertas durante a noite.
He, the one who roams the deserted streets at night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Gus's daughter, Gabriella, wanted to read a poem for Gus. And she's asked her aunt to read it for her. Vicky, Gus's sister-in-law and friend, is going to read that poem on behalf of Gabriella.
God looked around his garden, and he found an empty place. He looked down upon the earth and saw your tired face. He put his arms around you and lifted you to rest. God's garden must be beautiful. He always takes the best. He knew that you were suffering. He knew you were in pain. He knew that you would never get well on earth again. He saw the road was getting rough, and the hills were hard to climb. So he closed your weary eyelids and whispered, "Peace be fine." It broke our hearts to lose you, but you didn't go alone. For part of us went with you the day God called you home.
beautiful. Thank you. Great from Gabriella's heart. Thank you for sharing that with all of us. At this point, it is the custom at these vigils to allow anyone who would like to speak on behalf of the homeless, or Gus, or his family, anything. Is there anyone who'd like to come up and say a word?
Hi, it's a sad moment to be here, but I speak on behalf of a lot of constituents. I just formally got housed after 4 years being in the streets and living a rough life. And I just want to say that you know, there's people out there that are suffering, and there's a lot of us that care, but not many care. And in life, we need each other's hand and help in order to succeed in life. Because sometimes, some of us alone, it's hard to move on. And it's very important, each other's support. I want to thank everyone on behalf of the Rhode Island Coalition for the Homeless. And we love everyone. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you, Luis. Is there anyone else who'd like to say a word?
Say something.
Yes, I lost my son 6 years ago in Afghanistan, the day before his 18th birthday, and I become nothing but a drinker. And I'm sorry I lost my son, but I lost him for a good reason.
Thank you. I'm sorry for your loss. Is there anyone else who'd like to say a word?
Hello, my name is Gene, and I'd like to thank everybody for coming over from Woodlawn Auto. We didn't get to meet Gus or know Gus for long, but he was a good guy. And sorry for the family. Our deepest condolences. And we'd like to thank for the turnout. People showed up. At least people care. And it wasn't an easy thing for us to swallow neither, because we got to know him. He was a good guy. And sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean.
My name is Chelsea. I know this is a very sad moment for everybody. I barely knew Gus. I always seen him around, but I knew he was a good guy because I can see through people. But I hope your family stays strong, because you guys seem like beautiful people inside and out. And I wish everybody, whoever has a lost family member, stay strong for this lovely family right here. And God bless you guys, and stay strong. And whoever's homeless or less fortunate, you'll get help. Just pray.
Yes, amen.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to say a word? As the night sky comes, we're going to light our candles to ward off the chill, to ward off the dark, to remember that there is light in our hearts and in our lives, and there can be light for everyone. As Officer Jimmy sings for us again, we'll pass the light around the circle.
Can you like each other's
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. just knows that we can reach out and touch somebody's hand, just knows we can make this a better plan. Reach out and touch somebody's hand, make this world a better place if you can.